If you've ever made what felt like a brilliant move in your business that just completely failed, or, on the flip side, a kind of reckless one that somehow paid off big time, well, you've fallen into a cognitive trap. It's a trap that costs professionals millions in potential growth. Today, we're going to break down that exact trap using the framework from world champion poker player Annie Duke in her fantastic book, Thinking in Bets. And trust me, by the end of this, you will not look at your successes or your failures the same way again.
Okay, picture this. It's the 2015 Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks are on the 1-yard line, seconds left on the clock. So instead of handing the ball to their superstar running back, they call a pass. And boom, it's intercepted. They lose the Super Bowl. The media, of course, instantly labels it the worst play in football history. But here's the thing. Was it? Really? The data actually shows that an interception on that specific play only had about a 2% probability. The decision itself wasn't necessarily bad, the outcome was. And confusing those two things, that's the very first mistake we need to fix.
And that leads us straight into the first huge concept from the book. It's a flawed mental habit that chances are you fall for every single day. It's called resulting. And it's the simple but really dangerous habit of judging how good a decision was based purely on how it turned out.
Right, so this is exactly how our intuition just leads us astray. We see a bad outcome and our brain immediately goes, aha, bad decision, completely ignoring the massive role that luck plays. We kind of put the decision and the outcome on a scale and we just assume they have to balance perfectly. But what Duke argues is that that scale is fundamentally broken. You see, a great process can get totally derailed by bad luck, and a terrible process can get saved by a stroke of good luck. The real key is learning to separate the two.
Just think about this in a business context, right? Let's say you throw a bunch of money at some startup on a whim. No real research, just a gut feeling. That's, objectively a poor decision process. But then, that startup gets lucky, it hits a massive market boom, and you make a fortune. Now, if you look back and think your decision was brilliant, you've learned the absolute wrong lesson. You've just reinforced a bad process that is almost certainly going to burn you in the long run.
So how do we get out of this trap? Well, Duke proposes a pretty fundamental mindset shift. We have to stop seeing the world as a chessboard and start seeing it as a poker table.
Look, we all want life to be like chess, don't we? A game of pure skill, you have all the information right in front of you, and the best player always wins. But reality just isn't like that. It's much more like poker. It's a game of skill, for sure, but also luck, and, this is crucial, incomplete information. You can play a hand absolutely perfectly and still lose to a lucky draw on the river. The goal isn't to win every single hand. The goal is to have the best process that wins out over time.
And this is where the solution really comes into focus, adopting what's called probabilistic thinking. You just have to get comfortable with uncertainty. So instead of thinking a decision is right or wrong, you reframe it. This project will succeed becomes, I'm about 70% confident this project will succeed. It seems like a small change, but it's huge. It forces you to acknowledge that 30% chance of failure, which in turn prepares you for it and makes you ask, okay, what information am I missing?
All right, so if we're going to start thinking like a bettor, we need a bettor's toolkit, right? Shifting your mindset is the first step, but Duke gives us some really concrete strategies to put this into practice and start de-biasing our own decision-making. This might be the single most powerful and yet simplest tool in the entire book. The next time you feel absolutely certain about something, a market prediction, a competitor's next move, a hiring decision, just mentally ask yourself, want to bet? Seriously, imagine you had to put a significant chunk of your own money on that belief. You see, the moment you introduce stakes, even imaginary ones, your brain completely shifts gears. Your ego, your biases, they start to fade into the background. You're no longer just trying to be right, you're trying not to lose. And this forces you to ask much harder, more honest questions. You automatically start looking for evidence that proves you wrong, which dramatically increases the accuracy of your beliefs.
So once you've pressure tested your beliefs, how do you actually decide to act? Well, you look for what's called positive expected value, or EV. This is the poker player's bread and butter. You simply multiply the potential reward by your estimated probability of success. If that number you get is greater than your cost, your investment of time, money, and focus, then it's a good bet, plain and simple. And even if some of these high EV bets fail, making them consistently is the mathematical path to long-term success.
And that's the thing, right? The crucial point is that this isn't about making one single perfect decision. It's about building and mastering a repeatable process that puts the odds in your favor day in and day out over the long haul. Here's a great tool for improving that process. It's called mental time travel, and you use the 10-10-10 rule.
When you're facing a tough choice, just ask yourself 3 questions. How will I feel about this in 10 minutes? How will I feel about it in 10 months? And how will I feel about it in 10 years? This little exercise forces you to detach from those powerful short-term emotions and gain some real perspective. The immediate discomfort of, say, a difficult conversation often seems pretty trivial when you view it through a 10-year lens.
Yep, you can't master your process alone. Our biases are just too strong. So Duke recommends creating a learning pod, a small group of people who are committed to seeking the truth with you. The Kudos framework gives you the rules of engagement. First, communism, and she's borrowing a term from science here, meaning the communal ownership of data. It means you share everything, the good and the bad. Then you judge ideas on their merit, not who they came from. You actively hunt for your own biases, and most importantly, you encourage people to disagree with you. This creates a kind of honest mirror to see your decisions clearly.
And this brings us to a really critical and frankly often overlooked part of the process. You have to analyze your wins. There's this great story about the poker legend Phil Ivey. After winning a major tournament and $500,000, he didn't go celebrate. The first thing he did was sit down with another pro to deconstruct every single hand, looking for mistakes he might have made. He knew that a good outcome can easily hide a bad process. If you only analyze your failures, you are missing half the picture.
Okay, so this whole framework is incredibly powerful. But let's be real, it's not some magic bullet. Trying to implement this stuff means facing some pretty significant challenges, both personally and practically.
So, on the pro side, this system is an absolute game changer for reducing emotional stress. It creates a repeatable process for success, and it's essential in volatile fields like finance or strategy. But the cons are real. To truly do this, you need what basically amounts to an ego death. I mean, admitting a big win was mostly luck is incredibly difficult, especially for high achievers who are wired to take credit. And yes, the book's core message is repeated quite a bit, which some might find a little tedious, but you could argue it's necessary to really drill home such a counterintuitive idea.
So what's the bottom line here? Thinking in bets gives you a roadmap to shift your focus away from the seductive trap of results and toward the robust power of process. The secret isn't about getting lucky once. It's about building a system that is so sound that luck over the long term really has no choice but to work in your favor. If you're ready to start playing life more like a pro, you can find the link to the book and some other resources right in the description below. And if you found this deep dive valuable, go ahead and subscribe for more frameworks that will challenge the way you think. Until next time, focus on the process.